You know what I mean? It's like, but I have these near-death incidents that make me always like reflect. But this is the one where I like really reflect. Like, you know what I mean? The last incident I have, I was still in like a mad place or whatever. You know what I mean?
You want to talk about it? I don't know what you're talking about.
So like, yeah, back in 2007, I was like, you know, when I started the whole Step It Up footwear thing, I was still kind of like doing my thing, like, you know what I mean, streetwise or whatever.
Okay.
But I always kind of still wanted to just be that business guy. You know what I mean? Given like the environments that you grow up in, certain things are gonna latch on to you.
Yeah, of course.
And you're gonna try certain things, and you're gonna carry a certain name and be a certain guy, right? But if you're living within like the hood, you want to make sure that you have tough skin because you're around the gorillas. So you want to have tough skin. So I always kind of had that tough skin. There was a lot of like drama within the neighborhood and a lot of politics within the neighborhood. You had guys that didn't like you. You had guys that did like you. You know what I mean? But sometimes you never knew who was really scheming and hating on you. So for me, I was always doing my thing. I was always out of town. Like I tried not to be in too much of the politics of the neighborhood. And so, you know, everybody knew I was the clothing guy, I was a shoe guy. I'd always bless everybody and deal with everybody, you know? And I remember one of the youths coming up to me one day, and I can't exactly remember like where it came from, but it just came from hate. And he was just like, yo, like, you're not even putting nobody on in the hood, X, Y, and Z, da, 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 da. And you know, at the time, it's like, I'm a man that you can't even talk to me because I'll just tear off your head. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? I said, put who on? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to put myself on. But for them, what they seen was like, yo, like,
Oh, he's balling by himself.
balling by himself. Like, you know what I mean? Because them times, I'm not going to lie, I copped the Maxima, Cash. I was rolling with a few guys from Montreal that were known doing their thing. So what they seen was, yo, this guy's on. You know what I mean? But like, I was just still making it up and trying to figure it out. Like, you know what I mean? I wasn't really at that level. So like, I was just like, yo, I don't even know how I'm supposed to put the man on if I'm not fully on. You know what I mean? And so cool, collected guy. Like I've always been that way. You know? So he puts me in a wheelchair, we pull up, we go in.
You're calm at that time.
I'm just calm at that time. I'm actually kind of cheesed. I'm like, yo, what the hell? Like, it was thinking like, yo, it's because it had. Also, we roll up, and then, you know, the lady's like, yo, what happened? I'm like, oh yeah, like I got stabbed or whatever. And she's like, okay. She's like, okay, just go over there. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I go over there, then telling my mom and my boy, they're both with me. And I'm just sitting there. And then my boy's like, yo, like, no, we got to get you in now. Because as I'm sitting through the wheelchair, there's like a pool of blood, and then, oh my God, is like bleeding. So then boom, he runs and he tells the lady looks, she's like, okay, like, you know what I mean? So I remember them rushing me in. The last thing I remember, to be honest with you, fam, is, this is sound messed up, them in the catheter. They had the catheter, and I was like, yo, holy, like, shit, like, what are you guys gonna do with that or whatever, like, you know what I mean? And then that's the last thing I remember. So I went into surgery pretty much. I lost like, 5 pints of blood pretty much from what the doctor was saying, right? Your body holds like 8. Then I started to hemorrhage when they did the surgery.
Hemorrhage, is that it?
Right? So when you start like bleeding a lot or whatever, like, you know what I mean? So they had to give me back blood because I lost so much blood. You know what I mean? And then I remember coming out of surgery, and then when I came out of surgery, I remember they had me on the, what do you call that thing? The life support thing.
Oh,
I forget the name of it, but they had it like
down your throat.
Down your throat. So I remember like waking up or whatever, right? Yeah, big pass, right? I remember waking up and like, yo, like screaming because like my hands were like tied to the thing. So I guess what happens is most people, when they wake up like that and they have that thing down their throat, they pull it out, right? And that's for like usually when you're on life support, they put you on. That's what happens. They put you on life support with those things, right, to help you breathe. So I remember waking up or whatever, screaming, and then just knocking back out. And then when I woke up again now or whatever, it wasn't like in my mouth, because for them, it's like, okay, like he's good, whatever. So when I woke up, doctor's like, yeah, you know, you lost like a lot of blood. We had to like, you know, do surgery, cut you open, all of that or whatever. Like, yo, had me like messed up. And he's like, yeah, you might not be able to like walk again, right? Because where you were stabbed, it might affect like your walking and stuff. So I'm like, holy. So that was crazy, like for me or whatever, because that's my first kind of like experience or whatever. But I'm not gonna lie, it also kind of humbled me in a sense because I was moving like I was invincible, like you know what I mean, and it humbled me in a sense, and I was on some like some shit, right? However, I had to go through a lot because once I came out of the hospital, it's like I was looking at certain guys like, yo, I don't know if I could trust you, and you, or whatever.